Let's go. Strong signal. Station.
We're rolling. We're gonna go in 7, 6, 5, 4, and
Bringing you on the front line and beyond the headlines.
Beyond the headlines.
Outside the wire. Outside the wire.
When the story of New York Governor Eliot Spitzer's possible transgressions and resignation first broke, there was nothing but press speculation. But when Spitzer's short media statement was made, I personally felt sympathy, not for Eliot, but his wife Silda. While the news anchors and punditry were guessing what this could all be about, citing the New York Times' revelation, there were two people later appearing at the podium who knew the whole story, and Mrs. Spitzer didn't look all that forgiving. She looked humiliated. If not for the New York State Troopers who provide security for the governor, many of us might look the other way if Eliot appeared with a frying pan indentation upside his head.
Today, I want to briefly address a private matter. I have acted in a way that violates my obligations to my family and that violates my or any sense of right and wrong. But I have disappointed and failed to live up to the standard I expected of myself. I must now dedicate some time to regain the trust of my family.
Many were quick to guess just what Spitzer was up against with these allegations. It does have all the ingredients to make the press want to drag this out as long as possible. It involves a powerful do-gooder gone bad and a $5,500 an hour hoe. As I said earlier, we're all guessing about what's going on behind the scenes. As of now, the media probably has about 10% of the story. When Governor Spitzer was alerted to the fact he was busted last Friday, Mrs. Spitzer probably demanded to know everything before it came out later. She looks like someone who hasn't slept much since. I keep coming back to Silda because she is the real victim here, but there is an upside for her, which I'll get to later. In the less than 24 hours since the scandal broke, there are some things we do know. Eliot Spitzer was implicated after federal investigators tapped some of his conversations. The New York Times has obviously been aware of this all last weekend. In breaking the story roughly an hour before the governor's statement Monday afternoon, it would appear there was some coordination between the Democrat and the Times. It also proves that, depending on who's involved, the New York Times is capable of restraint in not leaking certain government wiretapping activities when they want to, or when the object of those taps aren't a Republican. Eliot Spitzer believed his own press. When dubbed Crusader of the Year, it would appear he believed he was above it all, and the rules didn't apply to him. Monday on Fox News, Karl Rove cited Spitzer's recent appearance at a national governors conference where he bragged about being the smartest state executive in the room. His illegal actions have shown not only stupidity, but also blind arrogance. When the charges were announced on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange Monday afternoon, there were reported cheers of delight from the traders. While cleaning up corruption and greed, then Attorney General Eliot Spitzer made an example of white-collar criminals. Because of his investigations, many people had their money and assets seized, careers were tarnished and or destroyed, and families ripped apart. Payback's a bitch. I'll be willing to bet there are many who were prosecuted by Eliot Spitzer who are considering revisiting their cases, since we don't know how far back the Emperor Club VIP activities extend. Some could make a case that they were being investigated by someone who was breaking the law actively himself. Democrats are shedding few tears for Eliot Spitzer. In fact, Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign has sanitized his name from their website, despite the denial. There is little sympathy for him. This was not all about sex. And don't tell your significant other that no sex is worth $5,500 an hour. Trust me.
People with whom I worked have accomplished a great deal. There is much more to be done, and I cannot allow my private failings to disrupt the people's work.
This is about sheer arrogance. Public servants should be humble. Eliot Spitzer is the exact opposite. Thus, many people in and around the state of New York are happy that the man who would be king has not only been knocked down a peg or two, but shoved off the ladder altogether. Eliot Spitzer has yet to land. Lots of people are hoping a cushion is pulled out from under him. He may fight this. He seems willing to up the ante. He may not have been humbled. This may drag on, and more details will emerge. How many more times Silda Spitzer will appear next to her husband will speak volumes. She's both an attorney and a woman scorned, an ugly combination to be sure. She knows her options, and the feds may be the least of Eliot Spitzer's problems.
Knows what it means to be a black man living in a country and a culture that is controlled by rich white people. Hillary can never know that. Hillary ain't never been called a Hillary is married to Bill, and Bill have been good to us. No, he ain't. Bill did us just like he did Monica Lewinsky. He was riding dirty. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. We bombed Hiroshima. We bombed Nagasaki. And we nuked far more than the thousands in New York and the Pentagon, and we never batted an eye. We have supported state terrorism against the Palestinians and black South Africans, and now we are in